AOP urges action on collision avoidance and pilot privacy as Congress debates next steps. The U.S. House of Representatives has failed to pass the Rotorcraft Operations Transparency and Oversight Reform Act, known as the ROTOR Act, following months of debate after last year's fatal midair collision near Washington, D.C. The accident, which claimed 67 lives over the Potomac River, prompted renewed scrutiny of aircraft tracking and collision avoidance requirements across the National Airspace System. In response to the House vote, the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association issued a statement emphasizing its continued support for aviation safety reforms tied to the findings of the National Transportation Safety Board. AOPA remains committed to advancing meaningful aviation safety reforms following last year's tragic accident in Washington, D.C., in which 67 lives were lost, said Jim Coon, AOP Senior Vice President of Government Affairs and Advocacy. The aviation community has been unified in supporting legislation that addresses the NTSB's recommendations and strengthens the safety of our national airspace system. ROTOR Act blocked in the House. The ROTOR Act sought to address safety gaps highlighted by the NTSB's investigation into the Potomac River crash. The legislation focused on improving oversight and operational transparency for rotorcraft operations in congested airspace, particularly in high-traffic corridors near the nation's capital. While the House did not advance the bill, attention has now shifted to the Bipartisan Alert Act. According to AOPA, the Alert Act also addresses recommendations outlined in the NTSB's final report on the accident. Moving forward, the House now turns to the Bipartisan Alert Act that also addresses the NTSB recommendations outlined in its recently released final report on the accident, Coon said. AOPA will continue to work with Congress to address the implementation of aircraft collision avoidance technologies, ADSB mandates, and privacy concerns. A central issue in the debate involves the use of automatic dependent surveillance broadcast, or ADSB, technology. ADSB allows aircraft to broadcast their real-time position, altitude, and other data to air traffic control and nearby aircraft. The system plays a key role in preventing midair collisions. In recent years, some older sport and recreational aircraft operated with exemptions from ADSB requirements. However, safety incidents and evolving airspace demands have increased pressure to ensure that all aircraft operating in shared airspace transmit location data. This issue has direct implications for the drone industry. The safe integration of uncrewed aircraft systems and advanced air mobility vehicles depends on reliable visibility of all aircraft in the airspace. Detect and avoid systems rely on accurate tracking data to prevent conflicts between crewed and uncrewed operations. Despite the safety benefits, many general aviation pilots remain concerned about how ADSB data may be used beyond collision avoidance. At the same time, we believe Congress must also address the misuse of ADSB data by passing the Pilot and Aircraft Privacy Act to prohibit the use of ADSB collision avoidance technology to collect fees from pilots, Coon said. According to AOPA, some pilots fear that airports or third parties could use ADSB data to track aircraft movements for billing or fee collection purposes. Those concerns have led to resistance among portions of the general aviation community. As NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy said earlier this month, allowing ADSB data to be used for commercial purposes should be prohibited, as it discourages pilots from using the system. Implications for drone and AAM integration. For the commercial drone and advanced air mobility sectors, the debate underscores a broader challenge. Airspace integration requires both technological adoption and trust among stakeholders. If pilots limit ADSB use due to privacy concerns, visibility gaps could complicate detect and avoid systems that enable beyond visual line of sight drone operations. Conversely, expanded mandates without addressing privacy protections may deepen opposition within general aviation. AOPA concluded its statement by reaffirming its support for bipartisan solutions. We look forward to working with members of Congress on bipartisan solutions that reinforce the United States' position as the global gold standard in aviation safety. As Congress turns to the Alert Act, lawmakers will weigh safety recommendations, operational requirements, and privacy protections. The outcome could shape not only general aviation policy, but also the framework for integrating drones and emerging air mobility platforms into shared U.S. airspace.